DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. What's going on, everybody? Today is Friday, September 4th. It is 8:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're watching this on Saturday, September 5th. This is Q&A number 86. We do this every single week here on this channel where I take the questions from the previous week's Q&A and I read them and answer them here in this video. As far as what's going to happen with these Q&As moving forward, I want to keep these going. I want y'all to bring me some questions that may be outside of basketball, because I don't know if any of y'all been following, but yesterday I was on the Grant Cardone Young Hustler show with my guy Jared Glant down in Miami Beach. We did a show together. We talked business, we talked branding, we talked marketing, we talked ideas, we talked getting your business off the ground, we talked basketball, we talked being an entrepreneur. And I know a lot of you have futures that are going to involve things other than just playing basketball. And even if you do play basketball and you have a glorious 20-year career, you're still going to have another half of your life to live when basketball's over. So if y'all got questions that don't necessarily have to do with basketball, I welcome those, as we want to try to diversify this Q&A. So it's not all just basketball stuff. We want this to be, wide-ranging and diverse. So anyway, we're going to deal with the questions that are here today. Let's get right into the Q&A without any further wasted time. First question comes from PVC Lock. He says, Dre, my man, exclamation points. What's up, PVC Lock? Demetrius says, Dre, how can I increase my speed and be more explosive? I would say you need to get the Ultimate Athlete 15-week program written by my trainer, Maria Solon-Scally. Covers every area of athleticism, specifically for basketball players: speed, quickness, endurance, agility, flexibility, stamina, vertical jump, power, strength. Next, Prince says, Dre, do you still do those volumes on philosophy, the Dre philosophy videos? I think I did 2 of them or 3 of them. I think I did at least 2. He asked, am I still doing them? What did you have to do? All right, so first let me answer the first question. Yes, I am still doing those. I do them kind of when I think of them. So actually, if you want to see more Dre philosophy videos, you want to see a different version of that, go to my Facebook page. Whenever I live stream on Facebook, those videos are still up on my Facebook page. That's Facebook.com/workonyourgame. The whole word spelled out, work on your game, and you'll see videos that I do. I live stream on Facebook. I've done like 3 of those in the last couple weeks. And those are similar to the Dre philosophy, so I just do them live instead of doing them on YouTube. So go check those out, Prince, and you'll see those videos, because I am still doing them. And he says, what did you have to do? What type of person did you have to become to reach the elite level when it comes to basketball? The first thing I had to do was work on my fucking game. If you don't have skills, then no matter what you're thinking or what you learned or who you saw or who you know, none of that's going to save you if you don't have skills. So you had to have the skill. And on top of that, you just had to put yourself out there. That means you got to go to where the players are. You got to go to where the games are. Go to the camps. Expose yourself to the coaches. Expose yourself to the scouts and show your game. And once you have some game that you've shown, you got it on film, and you got some proof of that game, get it out there to the people who can make a decision and help change your career. Next, Finn says, a charter school plays against a public school. Which one would attract college interest for basketball more? Oh, he says a charter school versus a public school. Which one attracts more interest? They both attract the same amount of interest. The reason that somebody's going to get interest or not get interest is not about the school they go to, whether it's charter or public or private or parochial. It's about if they can play. Because if you put a bunch of bum-ass players in a charter school, none of them's getting recruited. You put a bunch of bum-ass players in a public school, none of them's getting recruited. Put a bunch of good players in a charter school or a public school, they're going to get attention and get recruited to college. So it's not about the school, it's about your game. Because if you got game, it don't matter where you at, they're going to find you. Next, Aaron says, how do you feel comfortable on the free throw line when the game is on the line? You just do it. Just do it. Don't think about it too much. Free throw shooting, most of basketball, you pretty much already know how to do it. So the more you're thinking, the more it's going to mess you up. So stop thinking and just play the game. You already know how to play. Next, Jamari Reed says, my shot has been inconsistent lately for threes. I love shooting threes. How do I develop my shot? Well, the same way you developed it that made you love it, probably because you were making them. So whatever you were doing then, start doing it again. And you probably just need to practice more, because practice makes perfect. And even once you become perfect or close to perfect, or your shot's feeling good, you got to keep practicing to maintain it. So it never ends. Next, Elijah says, I haven't been to the last 4 practices because our team captain and starting point guard would ruin our chemistry. Well, he didn't actually ask a question, but I don't know what you want me to do about that, Elijah. Either you're going to play or you're not. Make a decision. Next, Jumpman says, how do you get inside the paint on taller players? Well, you can get inside the paint on taller players. I think your question more is, how do you actually make a shot against a taller player? Because getting inside the paint, you're not going to be stopped from doing that. It's just actually scoring a basket, I think, is probably more of your challenge. Hoophandbook.com, scoring on bigger defenders, part 1 and part 2. We got 2 programs for that. Also NBA signature workout programs. Pick a player who's a smaller player and see how they do scoring against taller players. Our programs that help you with that. Allen Iverson's one, Tony Parker's another, Chris Paul's the third, Stephen Curry's the fourth. Look at those programs. We got them there, hoophandbook.com. hoophandbook.com. Link is in the video description. Zanjillo says, I want to know, how do you attack a player's feet? Like, if you had a ball on offense and you read the way they're standing. There really is not a how-to to it. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube who put out videos say this is what you do. If the defender's doing this, you do that. Basketball doesn't work like that for several reasons. Number one, if it was that simple that if a player does this, you do that, and it's guaranteed to work, then we wouldn't even need these videos, because all you guys would do is just memorize every formula and everything would just work perfectly. Life does not work that way. Things change, situations are always different, and just because one player is playing you one way and you do a move and it works, doesn't mean if you do the exact same move in the exact same situation against a different player is going to work, quote unquote work. Because players react differently. Players have different reads. If they see you do a move one time, they might react a little bit quicker the next time you try to do that same move. And different players react different ways, and every player has different abilities, different quickness, different jumping ability, different strength, different reaction time, different length of their arms, and you have different skills. Your skills might get better or worse from one game to the next. So you might not be able to do a move as well as you did it on Tuesday as you did on Monday. So there's not a black and white thing. If a player does this, this is what you do, and it's always going to work. And the second thing is, a lot of players on YouTube, not all of them, but some of them, haven't even played any serious basketball anywhere. So how are they going to teach you how to become a serious player if they've never been one themselves? And that's just something that you just got to consider the source of your information, where you're getting it from. I know it might look good, but you got to ask yourself a question. If this person knows so much about how to play basketball, why haven't they played any real basketball in their lives? Just a question you need to ask yourself. Next question. Brandon Alvarez says, what's the best hoop handbook for a scoring point guard? Well, just pick your favorite scoring point guard and get their hoop handbook. Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul. I mean, I would guess I wouldn't call him a scoring point guard. Derrick Rose, Tony Parker. I mean, they score points. These guys get 20 points. 20 points is a good amount of points to be scoring. You score 20 points a game anywhere, you're pretty much going to get a pretty good amount of attention. High school, college, pros, anywhere. So I guess that is scoring. Russell Westbrook. Did I say Russell Westbrook? Who else is a scoring point guard? Brandon Jennings is a scoring point guard. And there's a bunch of others. I can't even remember all of them. Ty Lawson's another scoring point guard. Monte Ellis, he's kind of like a mixed guard, combo guard, but he's a scorer. So just pick your favorite scoring point guard. Name your favorite scoring point guard. We got a program for it at hoophandbook.com. So go over there, grab the one that works for you. 30-day program. We guarantee you're going to get better. Next. Malcolm Whitebird says, what is my favorite hoop handbook? My favorite hoop handbook, I would have to say, probably the Ultimate Athlete, just because the 15-week program, it covers every area of athleticism, and is written by my trainer Maria Solenscali, and it also requires no equipment. That's the main reason that I like that program. Other than that, if I had to pick a player program, skill program, I say the Simple to Advanced Ball Handling Hoop Handbook, because it's simple ball handling drills. Just the fact that if you can discipline yourself to do them every single day, you can get better. As far as the actual player programs, our most popular program all time over the last 5 years has been Kyrie Irving. The most popular one recently, let's say in the last 6 to 8 months, has been Stephen Curry. Other than that, the Michael Jordan one I like a lot, and the Kobe Bryant actually. But all of them are great. They all do what they say they're going to do, which is increase your game. As long as you're disciplined, you commit to the program, and you work on your game. Next. Gabriel said, today I had a bad game. My shot was weird. I missed a lot of shots. I don't know if it's me or because when my brother was fighting, he said he was fighting with his brother and his neck got sore before open gym. So he doesn't know if it's his game or if it was just his neck. Well, Gabriel, I don't know either. And it's been a week since that happened. So now you'll probably know if it was your neck or if it's just your game. Next, Kobe says, have you heard of Charlemagne the God? And if so, what do you think of him? Yes, I have heard of Charlemagne. I remember Charlemagne. Well, for those who don't know, Charlemagne's on Power 105, the Breakfast Club radio show in New York. I remember Charlemagne back when he was working for Wendy Williams, back when I used to live in Philly and I used to listen to the radio all the time. Charlemagne used to be on her show. He was kind of like the sidekick. She was the main person. He didn't even get to talk that much, but I remember him from then. And now he's on the Power Show and the Breakfast Club. I'm a fan of the Breakfast Club. I don't listen to them every day, but whenever I see they interview somebody that I'm a fan of, I'll go listen to that interview or watch that interview rather, or watch it on YouTube just to see what that person had to say. I don't watch everything they put out. I might watch one video a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on who they got on the show. But yes, I am a fan of Charlemagne. I think he's a funny dude. Next. Andrew Munoz says, how do I make it to the NBA? Work on your game, get better, and keep improving, and keep impressing every level you get to. Zarlins Racine says, you are the best motivator. Well, thank you, Zarlins. Next. George says, do scouts sometimes go to street ball basketball tournaments? Sure. I mean, scouts go to the restroom, scouts take showers, scouts eat dinner, scouts do everything that any other human being would do. Now, if that means they're going to be at the game looking for somebody, who knows? But if a person sees somebody who can play, again, if you can play, people will find you. So it's not about where do scouts go, it's about what can you do. Because if you can't play, and there's a bunch of scouts at a street ball tournament that you playing and you can't play, guess what? They're there, but if you can't play, it don't even matter. So if you can play, you don't have to worry about where the scouts are. They will come to you if you can play. Next, State of Nate says, growing up, what were some of your favorite music artists? I'll give you a few. Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Foxy Brown, Nas. That's 90s rappers. I mean, some of them still out, but you know what I mean. The Good Guy says, all right, he wrote a long-ass comment. I'm not reading this whole thing. So his question is, he's the captain of his team. Everybody gets along very well, even though the age difference. And his question is, I always help out inexperienced players whatever I can. I want our team to have a friendly environment and keep our backup point guard from losing his mind every game. What can I do? You can lead by example. If you are the captain of your team, you can pull the point guard aside, try to talk to him, see whatever the issue is he has. You may have put it in this comment, but this is a whole paragraph. I'm not reading this whole paragraph. So you can pull him aside and see what his issues are. Try to help him out since you are the captain. Try to lead by example. Take him under your wing. Next, King JR says you should do a Periscope app like Coach Rock. You can just do live videos and stuff like that. I have done some Periscopes, but I don't do Periscope of playing basketball. So if that's what you're talking about, that's not what I'm going to be doing. I'm actually going to do a Periscope later on today and maybe a Facebook live video also. But if I do it, it'll be like a commentary video with me talking. Me doing Periscope in the gym playing basketball, I'm not interested in doing that. So if that's what you're looking for, you go watch that guy that you mentioned. Next, Nitro Blade says, I asked this question, but it wasn't a Q&A. So his question is, I'm a high school player. I'm 6'3". I'm still growing. I want to know if it's possible for weights to stunt or hinder your growth in any way. No, it is not. You never heard that scientifically from anybody with any type of credibility when it comes to science and the study of the body. So no, that's not true. You probably heard that from one of your friends who doesn't have a medical degree, so don't believe it. Next question. Bitropic says, I'm a good point guard. I notice how other point guards make great passes by getting past their man, drawing to help defender, dishing it to the open man. How can I have that same court vision? Because it's usually too much for me to make that quick decision on if I'll pass it or try to shoot it. Well, you need to play in more basketball games. This is not something you can memorize. You can't memorize instincts. All right, so you're asking me how can you have instincts, and there's kind of an oxymoron question. Instincts is something that you don't memorize, not something you have to think about, something that happens. You can develop instincts by playing more basketball and sharpening your fingertip feel for the game. So that's not something that you can just get from me telling you to do it or you watching somebody or reading a book. You got to go play the game and learn while you do it. Next, Sam Eagleton says, your Buy a Game book is one of my top 5 favorite books ever. I'm really proud to hear that, Sam. Glad you like the book. Those of you who haven't read Buy a Game, go to dreallday.com/list. dreallday.com/list. That's where you can get Buy a Game for free. Next, Jesse says, where do you draw the line between being humble and being underconfident? I don't draw that line because I don't have either of those problems. So I keep my confidence way above the humble line and way above the underconfident line. But actually, that's something I'm going to be talking about at TEDx West Broward High, which is November 12th in Miami. Those of you who ever follow TED Talks, you know what TED Talks are. Y'all know the TED Talks are serious. I am going to be doing one November 12th in Miami. If those of you don't know what it is, go look up TED Talks online. Sounds just like it says, TED, T-E-D, Talks. A bunch of videos that you can watch of people who come up and speak about certain topics. I'm going to be speaking about the topic of confidence. Actually, that's not going to be in November. That's going to be one that's coming up next year, but I'll tell you about that when the time comes. Next, Kyrie23 says, I don't have any game film to send to coaches, so what do you think about sending practice film? Or if that's all you got, use what you got. Measley says, I don't have enough money to buy the required equipment for basketball. How do you think he can get money? Well, first of all, I don't know what the required equipment for basketball is. All you need is some shoes, you need some clothes, and you need a basketball. That's all the required equipment. So if you don't have money for that, and his question was, how do I think he can get money? There's a lot of ways. Number one, go get a job. You get money that way. You can start a business, go cut grass, go walk dogs, go help some old lady clean up her house, go walk somebody to the grocery store and carry the groceries back. those are all ways that you can make money. You could write something, a short story or something, put it on Kindle or iBooks. It's free to put it on there. People buy it, you make money. So those are 3 ways you can make money right off the top. Actually, that might have been 4 ways. Jay Young says, is it still worth working on your post game anymore because the game has changed so much? I guess he means because there are teams who do small ball and stuff like that. Yes, it's worth it to work on your post game because, yes, the game has changed, but there's still players who play in the post and do pretty damn well at it. Like LeBron James plays in the post. He does pretty damn well. Russell Westbrook posts up. Kevin Durant posts up. So, yes, post play still is a part of the game. It's just a little bit different the way things are done. But if you can play in the post and dominate in the post, there'll be a job for you somewhere in the basketball world. So absolutely yes. Andrea says, do you hit the weight room and do deadlifts, squats, bench press, stuff like that? If so, why don't you share with us what you do? He says, you haven't been doing that as far as I know. You're great. Keep on doing what you're doing. Well, the reason that I don't film and make videos about me actually lifting weights in the weight room is a couple reasons. Number one, I'm not an expert at weightlifting. I do lift weights, but I'm not a weightlifting expert. I am an expert when it comes to basketball because I've seen it all, done it all at pretty much every level, professional, college, high school. I know basketball inside and out. That's why I focus on basketball and videos as far as the demonstrations. If I'm talking about something off the court, there are other things I'm an expert at, and that's why I do a lot of commentary videos. As far as weightlifting, I do lift weights, but there are people who know the weightlifting genre way better than me. So if you want to learn about doing squats, bench presses, and deadlifts and other stuff you talked about, there are other people more qualified than me to give you that information. One guy I'll point out is my guy Big Brandon Carter up in New York. He is on that weightlifting thing, and he could tell you that a lot more about it than I could. And if you just want to see me doing it, the reason why I don't film it is it's harder to film in a weight room. And if you're going to film in a weight room, you need somebody to actually hold the camera and film you, because you can't just set up a tripod in a weight room, because it's going to be in the way. Somebody's going to walk between you and the camera. Somebody might knock the camera down. In a basketball court, you got all that empty space. You can put the camera down and they can film the whole court without anybody else getting in the way. So logistics is one, and the fact that that's not my expertise is the other. Next, Trayvon says, thank you for making programs that actually work. The hoop handbooks have gotten me so much better. Well, congratulations, Trayvon. That's proof positive to everybody else. You want to get better at your game? hoophandbook.com. We will help you work on your game. You do the work, you'll get the results. Next, Take Flight says, Dre, when I drive to the basket at top speed, sometimes I take my first step with the wrong leg and end up doing a weird layup with my right hand, my left leg going up. Usually this happens on fast break. I don't have time to think about it. How can I fix this? Or why do you got to fix it? Do you make the layup? If you make the layup, it ain't nothing to fix. Remember, the purpose of shooting is to make a basket. So if you make the basket, you made the basket. And how can you fix this? Well, start practicing finishing on the other leg. I mean, you asking how can you fix something? You just describe what the problem is. All you got to do is do the opposite of the problem and you'll get it right. So you already know how to fix it. Go do the work. George, last question, says, I've been feeling unmotivated recently. When I do my workouts, I feel like I'm just going through them without any effort. I'm not improving. Everything's starting to feel pointless. I don't want to be in this state of mind. What should I do? Well, you got 2 choices. Number one, get in the state of mind that's going to help you, which motivates you, where you feel like actually doing it. Or number 2, stop playing basketball. Basketball is not a requirement of life. If you don't want to play basketball, you don't have to. Nobody's going to kill you, throw you in jail, or punish you for not playing basketball. So either find your motivation or find something that you are motivated for, so you don't have to push to motivate yourself every single day to do it. Because if you got to push yourself every single day to be motivated, it's probably not something you should be doing. So go find the thing that you are motivated for. You don't want to get into something where somebody has to motivate you. You want to get into something where you're already motivated. That's where your wheelhouse is. That's where all your power is going to be. It might be basketball, it might not be. Basketball is not for everybody. It might not be for you, but maybe it is. You need to find that motivation. It's not my job to motivate you. It's your job to motivate yourself. That's it, everybody. Thank you for the questions. That's the end of this week's Q&A. Again, y'all can diversify these questions if you got something else you want to ask me about. But if it's just basketball, we'll keep it going as long as y'all keep coming with good questions. That's it. That's all. Work on your fucking game. DreAllDay.com. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here. And make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day. Work on your game.